everybody? Welcome to Live from the Bench. I'm your host, GQ, along with my co-host, Boulevard.
Good. It's good.
We are here for another amazing day, and we're going to provide you with another rendition of the Live from the Bench Top 12.
Yeah.
We gave you the top 12
Educate y'all.
quarterbacks. We gave you top 12 fantasy quarterbacks. We gave you top 12 football movies. Now we're going to give you a top 12 of our picks, fantasy running backs in the NFL. This is going to be exciting because we don't know the status of our running backs in the NFL. We don't know what's going on because NFLs are so devalued. So,
I'm psychic. I know exactly what's going on. I have the sight. I have the shitting.
I don't have anything. That's like the one position that I didn't really put much time in as I think when I went to BHS, when I went to Burlington High School, they wanted me to play running back, and I was like, no.
No. No, Seawolves.
I wish it was the Seawolves.
What was it?
The Seahorses.
Oh. That was a little baby. I love seahorses. I had a little book on seahorses and everything. Those used to be my shit.
Do you know why they called their team the Seahorses?
No.
Because they found seahorse fossils behind the school when they built it.
Oh, Lord. So they have no other characteristics. Like, that's the only thing that... Jeez. Just tell, man. That's...
Rice had a better team name. South Burlington had a better team name. Everybody else had a better team name. But Burlington. It was so sad. The Seahorses?
I played for the Ospreys, the Hornets, the Sabres, and the Owls.
All of those sound so much better.
Ospreys? Ospreys, though? Really? No. Yeah, that was so lame.
I mean, but if you know what I mean, Ospreys are pretty fierce birds.
I didn't even know they was birds. I don't know what an osprey was. I just took it for granted. It was something that just ran fast or something.
Oh, no, they're pretty fierce. A lot fiercer than a damn seahorse.
Well, me, everything fiercer than a seahorse. What a seahorse can do? All the seahorse can do. I mean, drooling and ish.
So I'll throw its babies at you.
Right? With his weird nose and tail and skin and shape.
They did have a pretty good running back, though. But he went nowhere, though, because it was Burlington. Like,
if you come out of this area, you're pretty much stuck.
Yeah.
You'll get your degree, but you ain't going no further. No. You ain't going XFL. You ain't going USFL. You ain't going local FL. That's
because they never going to get no exposure up there.
Right.
Nobody's coming to Vermont to see football players.
Hey, it made my video look good. But I also had other places too. So
we know Burlington had a good running back. I think everywhere I've played football, we'd had pretty good running backs. But I mean, it didn't really matter though. But I think in this episode, pretty good running backs, it's going to matter.
Yeah.
And we're going to do our top 12. And our top 12 is going to start with Boulevard. Who's your number 12?
My number 12 is coming back from injury, but the season before he was just about dominant. Jonathan Taylor.
Jonathan Taylor.
Doesn't matter what team he comes back with, the Colts or anybody else, he's still going to come back and be top 12 for you.
You think he's going to actually get on the field? You think he's going to play?
Yeah. I don't know if it's going to be with the Colts, but...
Because he's injured.
Yeah, but it's that contract thing that's keeping him off the field. He ain't that injured.
And Jim Mercer said he's injured. He can't play because he's injured.
But Jonathan Taylor says he's not.
But he's just a football player. They lie. Owners never lie.
Football players lie.
Owners
not
never
Jim
lie.
Irsay. No. Jim Irsay is not a liar.
They don't lie. They're the most knowledgeable and most honest and they're the utmost. They're like the epitome of integrity in the NFL.
No way, owners? You mean
Owners,
didn't eat their money in the backs of other people?
right? Like
Wow, what a concept.
they're the most honest. They're the most honest people. Like Daniel Snyder was the most
Oh,
honest
yeah.
owner ever.
Yeah, he seems super reliable,
So that's
making
why
his
I
money
think
in junk mail and crap like that.
it was just such a great thing for him when he sold the Commanders, and he sold his Commanders and he's getting his indictments and things like that. I'm so excited.
Man, it was
All right.
dancing in the street in Chocolate City when he
Well,
sold that team.
yes, they were. I was
Do
excited. I
you
wanted to go
feel
down
the
there and celebrate
brand
with
new
him.
day?
All right, my number 12 is somebody. I only put him up here because I know what I could do with him if he was on my team. But I don't feel like he's going to be used properly on this team. But if it just so happens that he will be used properly, I put Tony Pollard. He's the guy.
Mm.
I put him at number 12. I'm not very confident in him as the future running back, but we'll see. I know what he's capable of. Number 11.
Alexander Madison. It's his time to shine. He's got all. I mean, he's the backfield now. It's him, and it's Jay Jetta. There's no other convincing weapons, especially not in fantasy. Like anybody else would be a reach, unless you got him like seventh, eighth round or lower. Nobody, yeah, huh?
He's gonna get 800 yards rushing this year.
Oh, he get 800 rushing, he getting 800 passing, receiving.
He's a bigger guy. I don't think he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna. I don't think he's gonna be.
He's getting 1,200 yards this year.
I don't see it.
Mm.
I do not see it. I don't see him being a weapon at all. I feel like they're gonna be calling Dalvin Cook, come back.
Oh,
Come back.
It's my jam.
All right. My 11 is DeAndre Swift. And
wow.
I'm a big fan of DeAndre Swift. I like DeAndre Swift. And if I wanted to let my bias take over, he would be number 1. But the reason why I don't put him at 11 is because he's going to be sharing the backfield. He's going to be sharing the backfield. So
that's why he's not even on my list.
I feel like he'll get 1,000 yards. He'll get the 1,000 yards. But I feel as though he's going to share a lot of the backfield. So he's not going to be like, he'll probably average about 60, 70 yards per game. But he's not going to get you. He's not going to be the guy to.
And you mean 60 to 70 on the ground or total?
On the ground.
Okay.
I mean, I figure he'll get you 30, 40 in the air. But on the ground, he's not. Cause he's going to be sharing the backfield, so those yards are going to be split up. I do think the Eagles are going to exceed 2,000 yards rushing as a team.
Well, they better.
They might even get to 3,000 because
I don't know about that.
I see Jalen Hurts grabbing his Jalen Hurts might get 1,000.
Nah.
You think he's gonna? You think so? So here's my question: if you don't think Jalen Hurts is gonna get 1,000 yards because he had 700,
yeah, that's about what I think he's gonna get. There's no need for him to get 1,000.
So do you think he's gonna improve as a passer? I mean, I
yes.
don't really think he really. You think
yes.
He's gonna? Okay.
Yes, I think he has. What's this, year 3, year 4? He has total mastery of the offense.
Okay.
Yeah.
I like it.
I don't think he needs to run for more than 700 yards. I think if we can get 700 yards out of Swift and Penny and Hurts, there's your 2,000 yards right there. That's effective enough to keep the ball moving positively.
I feel like you'll see. I see DeAndre. I see they're going 8. One of them's going to have 800. Another's going to have 800. Another one's going to have 6 or 7. I think this game will probably have 6 or 7.
No, hell no. No, Gainwell going to have like 300 yards at the end of the season total. He's not the player everybody keeps wanting him to be. He's not that guy. He would have showed it already. We would have went and grabbed Penny and Swift if Gainwell was that guy.
But I feel like Rashad's going to be that. Well, I don't. Maybe not. Gainwell may not get all those on the ground. He'll probably
Gainwell's just a guy.
because
Do not draft
he's probably a
Gainwell, y'all.
receiver. I feel like Gainwell is a receiver. Oh no, do not draft Gainwell. I do not draft Kenny Gainwell. He's not. He's the number 3 running back. I feel like he'll do more for you as a combo running back. But he's not your guy. Rashad Penny's going to be your short yardage back. Swift is your main guy. Gainwell is your receiver out of the backfield. Bryce Young is just, not Bryce Young. Boston Scott's your guy that just comes in.
You're getting like 15, 20 yards a game out of Gainwell. He's a non-factor.
I think you can get a lot more from him.
You can, but then you got to give it to him and not the better running backs.
But I think in passing situations, he'll be a good option out of the backfield. I don't think he's going to do too much.
I ain't got no expectations for Gainwell. If he gets 5 touchdowns all season, I'd be impressed. I don't have that much expectations.
Okay. All right. Well, we're at who's your 11?
Madison.
Okay. Yeah. Horrible.
Nah.
Number 10. I have Travis Etienne. Because he's a good runner and receiver, and I think that's the way it has to trend for anybody to be successful in this league as a running back. So I think he'll get you some rushing yards and passing and receiving yards out of the backfield. So he's probably going to be a good pick. Probably not going to get you a lot of points, but he'll get you enough that you're not completely like, wasted.
Well, the goal with your running backs, you want to get 20 points a game out of them. Like, that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping to get about 110 out of your core players every week.
He'll give you 15. That's if he's as a flex, he'll give you 15. Who's your number 10?
Josh Jacobs.
Ooh.
Led the league in rushing last year, 4.9 yards a carry, but he ran the ball 340 times.
There it is.
That's why he's 10 and not higher. But the productivity was excellent, but that wear and tear. I can't say for certain he finished this season, but if you can get 12 games out of him, he'll get you to the playoffs.
That is insane. 300 carries?
340. Derrick Henry had 349.
That's a lot.
Overkill, yeah.
Well, that's scary.
Yeah, he'll get his numbers. He'll still, if you can get 4.5 per carry with Jacobs, you're good to go. You can just keep handing him the ball. But that wear and tear is definitely, he's going to break down at some point.
Okay. Sounds Gucci.
Gucci.
At number 9. I got Napoleon Harris. Najee Harris.
I got Napoleon Dynamite. Oh.
Najee Harris. He's going to get his carries.
Yeah.
He's probably one of the 3, pure running backs on this, pure running backs. Because I can't really imagine him being a receiving threat out of the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
So he's one of those guys that if anybody's gonna get 300 carries, it'll probably be Najee Harris because of it's Pittsburgh and Kenny. You don't want to put too much on Kenny Pickett,
right?
Tiny hands. So
see, I got Pickett having a good season, a big season.
I do too, but I feel like he needs somebody. He needs that. He has a great receiver.
Mm-hmm.
Although, it may be quite underrated, but he is a good receiver.
Yeah.
Not top 10, but he has a good receiver. And then they just picked up that tight end, Washington.
Yeah.
He's a big guy, but he's
more of a blocker.
Like a big guy. He doesn't.
No, he's yeah.
He was the blocker.
D. Washington, yeah.
Yeah, he's a blocker, but if you're watching him in training camp, the guy is burning people deep. He's beating people deep. I don't understand it because I'm looking at him like he has no business going on a seam route. He's big as shit. but
Right.
he's beating people over the top. What's
How
his
many
name?
tight ends are running? What is that D? My brain keeps saying David, but that could just be default.
I think it's Darnell.
It is Darnell, yeah.
Because Mark Robinson, their middle linebacker, was guarding Darnell Washington in training camp in
Mm-hmm.
practice. Darnell Washington, straight seam route. Mark
Hmm.
Robinson couldn't keep up with him, and I'm just like, that is insane. First, you let him get by you, and then you got beat on the back end.
Embarrassing on both counts.
Who's your number 9?
Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon. Ooh,
Yeah.
I like him.
I mean, we know the Bengals are going to be around fighting until the end, and we know Mixon's going to be right there standing with Burrow.
It's impossible for you to not. I don't see how he doesn't have a big year.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we know we're going to get something out of Mixon because we get it every year out of Mixon.
Mm-hmm.
Not mistaken, he doesn't really have any competition for reps anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it's all him. Mixon's
Not only that, but there's like no pressure on him to carry the team. There's no pressure on him. Like, he can do it. Like, he can just sit back and be like, all right, I'm going to take these 15 carries and I ain't got to worry about it, because guess what? It's not like the receivers aren't good. He has, like, they have a good number 1, they have a good number 2, and a good number 3. They have a solid tight end, and they have a great quarterback. They have the team around him as a running back to where it's like, I don't just have to turn around and hand the ball off because my receivers aren't. You don't have to do that. He can relax. And there's no pressure, and you perform, but you're not pressured.
Yeah. The hell? What was that? Did you mute that for me?
Yeah, I was. We're gonna go into our number 8.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because that was just weird silence for a second.
Yeah, it's no biggie because we could just add those out.
Yeah, we could. All right.
Who's your number 8?
My number 8 is Miles Sanders. I'm basing it on, if he can come close to his production from last season, he'll be top 10. No, it's a bad team with a bad line. Yeah, I probably shouldn't have put Sanders so high, actually. But yeah, I got Sanders and his no receiving yards last season at number 8 because, he's the bell cow.
I can understand it. I can understand why. Because, I thought about it too. Because I don't see. Because the way that Bryce Young was getting put on his back, they're gonna have to start doing those checkdowns to somebody, and why not somebody who's very good with receiving the ball out of the backfield.
Did you see his receiving numbers for last season though? Miles Sanders had 20 catches for 78 yards.
Because they thought he was going to be a running back.
That's insane. It's insane because we know he can catch out of the backfield. He did it the year before.
I think because Kenny Gainwell and Bryce Young, Boston Scott,
Yeah, so he just taking it, vulturing points. That man could have finished higher in fantasy, but he had a bunch of vultures out there. And on certain players, make sure you pick up their handcuffs because there are a lot of vultures in the league. So you want to have at least one. That was for you. That was for them. The fans in attendance and the millions watching at home. Yeah, who you got at 8?
At number 8, I have Dalvin Cook. The reason I have Dalvin Cook is because that's exactly what they need. Because the best way to say it is Aaron Rodgers needs a solid running back to be successful.
Yeah.
I don't think he's ever been on a team without a good running back. I don't think he's ever played without a good running back because he's had Aaron Jones most of his career. He'd had Jamal Williams most of his career, and now who did he have? I'm not sure who was.
I don't even remember who his running backs were back when.
Wasn't it? He had Eddie Lacy.
Yeah.
I still thought that Eddie Lacy was. I thought Eddie Lacy had potential. He was just a lazy fuck.
He had potential, but that's why he was a bust, because he didn't reach his potential. Boy didn't step up. He probably didn't put the exercise in. He obviously didn't put the training in because he didn't improve.
Because when you got a guy as big as Eddie Lacy, if he would have just put the time in the gym, he could have been what Derrick Henry is right now, and he probably would have been a better version.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, who's to say? I mean, the problem is he didn't put the work in. Clearly,
right?
Like he could probably just got through high school, college, Pee Wee, Pop Warner, just relying on his size. He was bigger than the other players, so he could just run away through them.
Right.
He never bothered to put in the work or train his mind or his brain or his body or any of that to be a professional.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. I don't know Eddie Lacy's fat ass, but I assume that's the case because he's a fat ass.
I think that's the case for most people who are bust. If you look at them,
who's that? Charles Rogers.
Mm-hmm. They don't put the work in. That's the reason why a lot of people get bad like that. Like Todd Pinkston didn't hit the gym.
Right. Well, I don't mean so he won't weigh like 170.
He wouldn't work out. If you look at it's been documented that Devontae Smith's hit the gym. He's trying to put on the weight. He
needs to. Went around 175 is a bit small for a receiver.
But yeah, I think we should do a video on the top 12 bus and something like
that. That would take some research. But yeah, I'm down with that.
Let's do the modern area. Let's do like in the past since 2000.
Well, see, I'd have Jadeveon Clowney on my list as a bust. But
I think he's a bust.
Yeah. Look at his numbers. Look at his hype when he came in. All that hype was centered around one play, like one hit. That was his whole career. Everything about his career was based on one hit in college. Yeah, to go as high as he did, and to not have the numbers worthy of going as high as he did, and then getting to the pros and still not putting up those numbers, yeah, I'd call him a bust. Yeah. I'd call him a complete bust. Like, where is he now? Cleveland? Playing with, what's his name, Myles Garrett? How can you not hit 12 sacks lined up across from Myles Garrett? I rest my case. Yeah, I consider him a bust.
I think we're going to have to discuss that in a later episode. But that sounds exciting. All right. Number 7.
Oh, Aaron Jones.
Aaron Jones. Oh, Packers, Green Bay?
Yeah.
Oh, for sure. Because Jordan Love looks like ass.
They're going to need to give him Aaron Jones the ball.
He's going to get 400 carries.
He had good yards per carriage last season. He had good numbers last season. I mean, 5.3 yards a carry, yo. 5.3. That is solid. He only scored 2 touchdowns, though, which is ridiculous. 2 touchdowns. So all that production, 5.3 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns.
Did A.J. Dillon get his touchdown, his goal line carries?
Vulture. Just a big vulture. You got to watch out for those. You got to have them. I'd say if you take Aaron Jones, you might want to take Dillon, just in case. Not for injury, but you might want to play them together so you get that maximum production. Maybe. That's more for if you're a bad team, though.
My number 7 is a guy who did his thing, sharing the backfield. And now he doesn't have that. He doesn't have to share the backfield anymore.
Oh, yes.
Nick Chubb.
Good choice.
I feel like I do feel like after looking at this list, maybe he can go a little higher. But Nick Chubb's my 7.
That's a good choice for 7. Well,
you know, put the onus on him. Let him take over.
Yeah, I mean, he's a good weapon. I mean, what else do they have? Who are their receivers over there in Cleveland?
Amari Cooper.
Old. Past his prime.
Donovan Peoples-Jones. I think that's his last name. Donovan
Whack.
Peoples-Jones.
Just a guy.
What's that black guy name? Njoku.
I'm about to say, can you be more Pacific?
Njoku.
Yo, did you see the thing about Deshaun Watson throwing all the interceptions to Reed Blankenship?
Really?
Yeah, he threw like 3 over 2 practices straight to Reed Blankenship. He threw a bunch of interceptions, though. And that's why he wasn't on my list.
Oh, have you been you been paying attention? Like Antonio Brown was torching the Browns defense at practice.
I believe it.
And I'm just like, oh man, that must like be really painful for like that must be really painful for your mentality, like practicing and getting torched by somebody. It's just like
But somebody who ain't even in football shape for the most part.
right. Somebody who's not even going to be playing in the preseason. Like the man's
still out there busting y'all. Did they sign him at least?
Huh?
Did they sign him at least?
Who?
Brown.
Who? AJ Brown?
Yeah. Oh, that's who you said it was. I thought you said Antonio Brown.
Oh no.
No,
AJ Brown was
Brown busting ass. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's just like the guy he's not even playing, like, and y'all just letting him torch y'all defense.
Who do you got to stop him?
I mean, Denzel Ward's pretty good.
Denzel Ward ain't got the meat to keep up with him.
I don't think anybody has the meat. I'm willing to believe that Jalen Ramsey probably couldn't shut AJ Brown down.
No, Brown would still get his catches. Like the only person I can think of on their roster that's about the same size on defense as AJ Brown is Owusu Karamoa. And he's fairly fast, but they're never going to put him against AJ Brown. But that's like the only dude that has a size, speed, strength to compete with him. Like the full combination. And they play 2 different positions altogether. They wouldn't even face each other at any point.
Yeah, so I don't think the Browns are going to do much this year.
Right.
Just hand the ball off.
Well, they're the Browns, so.
Yeah, we're going to have draft day, too.
The movie?
Yeah, we're going to have a sequel.
Oh. Well, I'll put that bum-ass Kevin Costner in it.
Yeah, it's going to be me, though.
Oh.
Who's your number 7? You did your 7, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
FCN is my number 6.
ETN?
Mm-hmm.
I like him.
Yeah, I like that team.
He's my 10. I do, too.
Like that team, I like him in the backfield. You know he's going to be getting catches out the backfield. And that's... Definitely. You want somebody who can consistently get you points per play, and you want somebody who can get you receptions out of the backfield. Just like you want a quarterback that can run in fantasy. These are the most, like, as you get those extra points. Mm-hmm. Those extra points are what win you the games. You got to find those. You got to look for those, hunt those down, and leave those on your bench till you need them.
And the Jaguars also have Calvin Ridley, who I've said is going to have a breakout year. He's going to be NFL Comeback Player of the Year, 1,500 yards receiving.
You are on record as saying that.
93 receptions and 1,500 yards. I'm on record of saying this, and I'm hoping I have to eat crow this year because my number 6 is somebody who I said is going to not perform. He's not going to live up to his standard, and that's Bijan Robinson. I'm praying that I eat crow. Bijan Robinson is my number 6. I feel it. I said that I thought that he wasn't going to do much in Atlanta, but I feel like he's going to be a different breed of running back. He's going to be a dominant receiver out of the backfield and a dominant running back. So there you have it. I'm going to eat crow and I own it.
Yeah, I think so. I think you are. Especially when you're talking about like your top 10. Yeah, you're putting too much pressure on a rookie. Like, I mean, I know rookies show out, and sometimes they show out right out the gate, but you can't depend on it. Especially since he's still got all guys sharing carries with him and everything.
Yeah. Well, the reason why I say I'm going to eat crow is because I said at the draft, I was like, he's not going to do anything for Atlanta. Like, he's not going to perform high. So I feel like he's probably going to do better than what I expect him to do.
Which is nothing.
But what everybody else is expecting this man to get like 1,500 yards rushing.
Mm-hmm. I don't expect him to lead the league and everything.
Yeah, I'm not expecting him to do that. I don't even expect him to be rookie of the year. Who I do think might surprise everybody is that boy CJ, but we're not going to talk about that.
CJ
Stroud or
Ah.
Anthony Richardson. I feel like he might show out.
Yeah, they gave him the job. They gave all the quarterbacks the job already.
Yeah,
All the rookies got their spots.
Yeah. All right, let's go right into number 5. The top 5. Number 5, I got King Henry.
Really?
Big Baba Ganoush.
You don't think he's broken down yet? You think that train still got mileage?
I guess we're going to find out. I still think he's a threat. He's still a threat.
He's a threat because he's like 260 pounds.
I still think he's gonna get the yards. He's probably broken down. Probably not somebody who's going to give you. Well, how many games is that? 17. I don't think he's going to give you 17 games. But I feel like he's a good pickup. He's not somebody you want to. He's not somebody you don't want on your roster. Right. If he's available, you pick him up.
If you can get him in your flex, you definitely grab that man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm sure he goes a lot earlier than that. Like, he's probably going 3rd round or so. So he's a running back, so he probably even gets picked up earlier than that.
Absolutely.
But he ain't going to be on my team. Not with the years and years of him chopping, like getting close to 350 on the ground every year. Carries. Nah, I can't rely on him. I couldn't rely on him last year. I mean, I don't draft Derrick Henry, but that's just me. I don't see his style as effective long term.
I think the only way his styles can be effective is he's running back, the second running back. I don't think the feature back should be that guy.
Right. If he's your number 1 back, you're probably doomed.
Yeah, like I think guys like that, if he's your number 1, they get carries first and second down if you're running it, and maybe in short yardage. But he's not going to be the guy that you turn around, hand it to, and get 20 yards.
God no.
Carries.
Derrick Henry ain't getting a 20-yard run ever again in his career. I think he's done. Personally, I think he was done last season. And he's still got numbers.
So who is your number 5?
Saquon.
See, I didn't put these guys. So I didn't put Taylor, Saquon on my list because I feel like they're gonna hold out. I feel like they're not gonna play.
They ain't holding out. Nobody really holds out. They all say they're gonna hold out, but then they all show up. They ain't gonna hold out. No, so it's Barkley. I feel like Barkley, well, we all knew he was good. I feel like last year was kind of a breakout. Like with that whole team in general, because they were good and they were consistently fighting for wins, which we didn't really expect out of Daniel Jones and that line, really.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and we, for the most part, expected Barkley to get his, but he kind of exceeded expectations. He was probably about top 5 at his position in fantasy last year. Good numbers.
I mean, I feel like Saquon's always been a dominant running back. He's always been a threat. I feel like he's not who he was in the beginning of his career when he was like that guy that just breaking away from everybody.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to have to he's not going to break away with those 60, 70-yard runs like he was doing his rookie year and his sophomore year, but he's still an effective running back. He's somebody you can't just count out.
True.
Number
4. Who you got?
Josh Jacobs.
Interesting.
I feel like they don't have a quarterback, so they can't throw the ball.
Jimmy G's their quarterback, right?
They don't have a quarterback.
Oh, man, that's a waste of Devontae's career.
They don't have a quarterback.
That's a waste of Devontae Adams' career.
I look at Jimmy Garoppolo. When you have Jimmy Garoppolo on your roster, that means you have an empty roster spot because he doesn't show up. The man is on our roster for nothing. Like he doesn't fill the roster spot. He's like He's like when you playing one of those football games, and he's like that generic player, new player.
Mm-hmm.
That's who Jimmy Garoppolo is because he
Damn.
doesn't get on the field. He's just a placeholder. He's like a generic created player. He's just no, thank you. Jimmy Garoppolo is the Raiders don't have a quarterback.
Okay. I don't
Like,
disagree. I just feel
where's
bad for
Peterman?
Jacobs and
I
hell.
agree.
Nathan Peterman is in hell where he belongs.
But
Like
he'd
you
be a better
listen
quarterback.
the end of Devontae Adams' career. He came there to play with his boy from college, and they got rid of his boy from college. I'm surprised he ain't out on the trade market already.
I'll give it some time.
Mm-hmm.
Give it some time.
Yeah,
And then
he'll be asking soon.
yeah, once Garoppolo start throwing passes that are like not catchable for Devontae, he's gonna be.
And that's saying something because boy got a huge catch radius.
Mm-hmm. Who's your number 5? Wait, did we do your number 4?
Number 4. Number 4. Hustle man from the boat low is Najee Harris.
Ooh,
Yeah.
I like him.
Yeah, I got him getting close to leading the league in rushing this year. Like he's going to be the star that stirs the drink out in Pittsburgh. Pickett's going to have his numbers. Pickett's hitting 4,000.
Mm-hmm.
But Harris is going to be hitting like 1,700 this season.
I can see that.
Mm-hmm. Nothing but opportunity.
I feel like it's about that time where we get something like that. It's we're due for a running back to go insane. So
Nothing. That's just Boulevard guarantee. That's the one you want this year.
2,000 yards rushing,
possibly. He's got the line for it. He's got the team for it. So
I'm surprised the Eagles haven't had a 2,000-yard rusher the way that line is.
Eagles should never have a 2,000-yard rusher. There's only been, 3 and 4 history?
It's so crazy.
And, running backs are getting less numbers now for the most part. You'll still have, your 4 or 5 who'll clear 13, but... Yeah.
3.
Who's your number? Did you say who your number 4 was?
Yeah, it was Josh Jacobs.
Oh, yeah.
That's how we got into Raiders not having a quarterback.
Okay. That's right. That happened. I was there.
Number 3.
Nick Chubb.
Nick Chubb.
I
like him.
Yeah.
Good pick.
Yeah, you know what you're going to get out of him because you can get it consistently.
Yeah, you got it last year, and he was sharing carries.
Yeah, and now he's the boy Mel Hunt going. So the floor is yours, Mr. Chubby.
If he can do what he did last year, and not be sharing cover, play like he did last year, and not share carries. Ooh,
1,500 on the ground and 12 touchdowns. I'll take that.
But if he's not sharing carries, because what was Kareem Hunt's numbers last year?
What though? Kareem
Hunt. I mean, I feel like he put up 700 yards. I feel like it. Maybe.
He probably did. Yeah. I mean, he's usually around that, if I'm not mistaken. Stats.
Because I remember there was a point where they almost both had 1,000. No.
Nope. 123 carries for 468 yards and 3 touchdowns. 3.8 yards a carry. Yuck.
Oh, so he regressed.
Yeah.
Yeesh. Okay.
I don't pay attention to what happens in Cleveland, so
yeah.
I don't know that anybody really do.
My number 3 is the man straight from Cincinnati, Joe Mixon.
Joe Mixon apple pie.
The same reason I said earlier. The reason why I picked Joe Mixon because it's impossible for him to not thrive in that offense.
Right.
It's like I can relax. I don't have any pressure as a running back. And the thing about a comfortable running back, he doesn't have to he's not expected to share carries.
Nope.
He doesn't have to get more than 15 carries.
Right.
It's just because he has a great team around him, he can just relax. He's comfortable. He don't got to worry about getting banged up because he's doing too much.
Right, that's true.
I like Joe Mixon. At number 3.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, it's 2.
What are we at? 2?
Yeah, I think we're at 2.
Okay. Who's your 2?
At number 2, this is where it gets exciting. My number 2 is the guy who wanted to have the Zoom meeting, Austin Eckler. Eckler.
Yep, we got the same
Alka-Seltzer.
top two.
Austin Alka-Seltzer.
We got the same top two.
And the reason why Austin Eckler, and probably who your number 1 is, we have the same number 1, is because he does it all. He does it all.
Yeah.
And he's going to get his numbers. He's not going to be somebody you're like, I'm missing out on him. No, he's going to get you your numbers. You're not going to fail. And it's so crazy because I feel like his quarterback is super overrated, but it's probably because you have a guy like him. Of course you're going to be overrated. You got a guy that can just come out.
Right.
I mean, because he's not getting those numbers. Herbert is not getting those numbers throwing to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams because they're injured. They're injury prone.
No, I mean, they'll still get crazy numbers out there.
Yeah,
though.
but he's not getting sacked. I mean, I don't know. He has a weapon in Austin Eckler who's able to relieve some of that pressure from him. So,
yes.
So that's my number 2.
Okay, that was my number 1. So who's your number 1?
My number 1 is probably the most talented running back in the league right now. If he can stay healthy,
that's my if.
Christian McCaffrey.
That's why he was number 2. That's a big if he can stay healthy.
All right, so Christian McCaffrey, I feel like he's in a great position because when you have unproven quarterbacks and quarterbacks that are not that good and they rely on that guy, like their safety blankets. And Christian McCaffrey is the epitome of a safety blanket for a quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel as though
they're in good hands if he's in the backfield.
Whether it's Trey Lance, whether it's Sam Darnold or Brock 30 or Perk 30, whatever y'all want to call them, whoever it is in that backfield, line it up under center. It's they're going to be tossing a lot of passes to C-Mac, so we'll see.
Right. I want to give him just a few mentions because there was my number 13 who I couldn't find a spot for. Kenneth Walker of Seattle.
Ooh, I like him.
Mm-hmm.
He's another guy that does a lot in the receiving game, but he doesn't get recognized for it.
Right.
I like him.
And the backfield's all his this year.
Uh-huh.
I mean, we supposed to believe he's going to split carries with Zach Charbonnet. That's only going to go so far before Boy separates himself as the clear bell cow of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
I also want to go and take a moment to talk about handcuffs. It's you got to play every player. He might probably get injured or he splits a lot of carries, so you want to have the other guy, too, just in case of things happening.
Mm-hmm.
Just wanted to point out 4 handcuffs. 4 team combinations that you might want to get your hand on. Actually, 5. First off, we're going to talk about Swift and Penny. Yeah, Penny?
Well, Swift Gainwell.
No, God, no.
Because it's that health thing. If Penny's isn't hurt, if gets hurt, it's going to be Swift Gainwell.
Yeah.
And Gainwell's going to get his touches. He's going to sell those. He's going to take those touches. He did it to Miles Sanders last year. He's prevented Miles Sanders from being that guy, so you can't count Gainwell out.
Yeah, I guess you can't count him out, but
because they like Gainwell.
They clearly do. They keep giving him the ball.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess by that standard, if you can't get Penny or Swift, you can get one of them. Try to pick up Gainwell too.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Bijan Robinson, you still want to pick up Travis Allgaier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was the guy who carried the win game last year. And he wasn't terrible. Yeah, he wasn't terrible. So you still want Allgaier.
Mm-hmm.
If you can get one or you can get both, you'll be successful.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit, David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs. We know what we'll get out of Montgomery. We'll get decent play. He's not going to be an all-star. But you also know he's not going to play every game. And they brought in the rookie first-round pick, Jahmyr Gibbs. He's expected to get a lot of offense in, too. So you might want to grab both of those.
Yeah, grab both of those. If you're going to get one, get the other one.
Mm-hmm.
If they're available.
Mm-hmm. Two more. The Jets recently signed Dalvin Cook. Breece Hall came off a pup yesterday, physically unable to play list.
Mm-hmm.
The plan is to have him back for week 1, too. I mean, that's a pretty strong backfield there.
Mm-hmm.
And we know Cook gets hurt. Cook gets hurt. Breece Hall's coming off of injury. So if you had one, you'd want the other. Because who else are those carries going to go? So if you can get your hands on both of the Jets running backs, that'll help you out this season. And also in New England, Ramondre Stevenson, who everybody's been saying would have a breakout year, and Ezekiel Elliott, who just signed with New England last night. That's a strong backfield. They're going to hit back.
Mm-hmm.
There's going to be a lot of power runs. A lot of power zone, a lot of the zone, that we're all seeing all across the league. So linemen are going to have to build up and take punishment. From both of those two, I could see you can get 15 carries to each per game, move the ball through the run, you're hitting the tight ends, but it's all going to be coming out of that one area of the field. That's where all of New England's offense will be produced, between the tight ends and the running backs. So grab those running backs. We know Zeke will get you 4.2, 4.3 per carry, and Stevenson got hands on top of being a strong runner. Grab them both. May not get you to the playoffs, but it'll keep you in contention all season.
I like it. I think it's the word of the combo. So I mean, it can't hurt. Right. It can't hurt. So I like what we got here, but unfortunately, we're gonna have to give it an end. We're gonna end the episode there, ladies and gentlemen. If you like what you saw, give us a like. If you want to see more, subscribe.
Yeah.
And not only do you watch us here, tell your friends. If they don't got time, if you're trying to hear what we're trying to say, you're missing out, you feel like you're going to miss out because you don't have time to sit down and watch the video, we're on Spotify too. We put the same content out there.
Yeah.
So, go listen. Give us a like and a subscribe. Tell your friends. Tell their friends to tell their friends.
Mm-hmm.
And until next time, ladies and gentlemen, hit the bench.
Peace.